All right, we are live with another Cafe Crash interview. I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and I am joined by the supremely talented filmmaker, Italo Ganni. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good.
Thank
Bobby
you for
seems to
having
be
me.
calling me right now. Bobby Lee Black, who's supposed to be
You
joining
can give him
us.
a couple seconds.
Yeah, I can't take his phone call right now
Oh,
because we're live.
no worries. Then we can either he'll pop in or he won't pop in. We'll just go for it.
Yeah, no worries. If we can't, I don't know if he needs the link again, but I sent it through his messenger. So, Bobby, if you're watching, check your messenger on Facebook. The link's there, buddy. So, how are you, sir? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm just hiding out at home.
Yeah.
I can literally hear a child screaming right now, so everything's off to a really great start. But you know what? It's all good.
Oh man.
Happy to finally talk about the movie with some people and
Yeah.
people know who didn't know about it, what it is, and just got the trailer out, so that's starting to get some views, which is cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So give us a little bit of background about yourself. Where you come from, how you got into tattooing, and then how you got into filmmaking.
Okay, well, so I grew up in Colorado and I went to Denver School of the Arts, which I think you're probably familiar with, the arts high school in Denver, and just kind of came from a visual arts family and drew a lot. Comic books is kind of what my first thing was.
Yeah.
And tattooing. So tattooing and filmmaking are kind of like my two jams and kind of just really have been and probably will be. So I started around teenagers when I started getting into movies, and I was watching movies all the time. It's when DVDs are getting popular, and we got a new art major at Denver School of the Arts. I was in visual arts drawing, so I changed majors and got into filmmaking when I was about 17, and then didn't really go anywhere with it after graduation, and then kind of moved on to tattooing kind of later on, like in my not really till my mid-late 20s, I actually got into tattooing. But so from probably right out of high school through like probably my mid-20s, I was just doing shit jobs just to survive, really. And I didn't really have anything that was like a career, at least not long-term. But ultimately, I just kind of stumbled into tattooing. I was around it a lot, and I was getting tattooed a lot. And eventually being that hang around guy who's always at the shop, they decided, okay, well, I guess we could probably use him for stuff. So started with mopping the floors, doing all the apprentice stuff.
Nice.
And had like about a year-long apprenticeship, and then started tattooing and just kind of went off on my own. And my experience, honestly, as a tattooer has been inconsistent. Bobby!
There's Bobby.
Hey.
Hi, Bobby. How are you?
I was just
doing
my introduction, dude.
Yeah.
I bet it was awesome.
Your timing is impeccable.
But yeah, so honestly, I'll just get right back to that point I was saying real quick. My experience in the industry has been, and the tattoo world has been rather inconsistent, and that's a big part of what the movie is about too. These guys are kind of underdogs, they're kind of not always, as busy as some of the other guys. I think a lot of us have been that at one point or another in our career, and I just thought it'd be kind of a funny setting and an interesting setting to write, for them to be what they're doing. They're not doing amazing, but it's more funny that way, and it's better that way if they're really struggling. So
nice. Now, tell us how you hooked up with acting legend Bobby Lee Black here.
Bobby and I were tattooing together at Freaky's. Bobby and I were tattooing together, and he told me he was in some movies, and then he told me he was in The Punisher, and I was like, oh, I have that movie on my wall. But no, like the Thomas Jane one, which John Travolta. He's like, yeah, I'm the guy who shot at the beginning. I'm like, holy shit, that is you.
Yeah.
So that was how I met Bobby. Is we both were somehow both of us were into filmmaking and into tattooing at the same time.
That's
And I hadn't met anybody who was, hey, I want to be a director, but I tattoo, right? I'm also a tattooer, or vice versa, So Bobby was the first person I met like that, and then we started out joking around about making movies, and then we tried, we made a couple shorts,
right.
for little festivals and contests and stuff like that.
Was that the same as the shop, like the web series? I think you were doing an episode or something.
Well, so yeah, that kind of stuff we were doing, and we would just do whatever we could get into, like the road contest, and we did little short crime drama, a little short comedy. We did have a script that kind of fell apart, but that we've tried to make a feature before.
Okay.
We never really got it this far, as we got it with this. But so, like they say, like failure is part of success too. You got to do them both. But
yeah,
we learned a lot the first couple of times that we didn't pull it off.
Yeah,
so we're really excited with what we did this time.
That's cool. And Italo, you were talking about too that off camera before we went live, that you wrote the script, going into COVID, going into quarantine.
Yeah, I was, we were just all kind of locked up, and Bobby and I were keeping in touch, but we were like, dude, we gotta do something. We gotta make something, and then without really thinking about it, I wrote the script based on the characters we had already used in the short. And I just sort of thought about everything. I thought about all the times sitting at the shop, not tattooing, or the times that, that it was busy versus not, and, the experiences in between, and my back hurting some days, and, the hard stuff and the good stuff, like all together. And that's sort of what kind of dreamt up what the characters had, about them. One guy doesn't really fit in, one guy's older, and just sort of took a lot of that as inspiration for it. Yeah, and just sat down for a month and just banged out the script.
Nice. It looks like we got some fans commenting on here. Adrian's and DSA.
Yep, DSA people.
And then Abigail's, love you guys. So proud of you. Miss you bunches.
Aw, Abby.
It's one of our old coworkers.
Oh, cool. So, Bobby, what's it like working on a film from start to finish with Italo, during a pandemic? That's got to be a new experience.
It was a challenge, I mean, working with Italo's a hoot. We've had a ball together. We work together really well. But I was producer on this film, and trying to raise funds, trying to get everybody together, trying to stay within parameters of the health department. It was quite an uphill battle, but the actual shoot was super smooth. I mean, we broke some records. We did all kinds of cool stuff in the shoot. I mean, there was a day there where we did 20 pages, and the average shoot day is 7.
Right.
So we pulled off some pretty major stuff. The shoot went super well, but leading up to the shoot was quite an ordeal. Nice.
Yeah. I'd imagine, especially, because you're wearing the hat of a producer for the first time, right? Usually you're the talent in front of the camera.
Right. Yeah. It was my first dance behind the camera, and I hope it's my last. It was one of the toughest things I ever did.
Bobby did everything, like in like 3 months, like some crazy shit.
Yeah. We put this together from the time I got the script to the time we were shooting was about 3 months.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And, from the looks of it, like here's a still. This is your co-star, right, Bobby?
Yeah, that's my co-star. He plays Mason, my sidekick, kind of like my surrogate son.
Uh-huh. And I think this is actually Italo's son.
That is Talon, one of my kids, during one of the scenes. Yeah, he looks pretty cool there.
Yeah, he looks pretty strong. He looks like he's there to dominate, and he works for milk.
Yep. Milk life.
Works for milk.
Not too many other people, work for milk. And then here's a nice still of Bobby. This is his. I think this is your standard look, right? The deer cotton headlights look.
Yeah, a lot of that going on, especially when Enigma shows up. He really blew my mind.
Right. Here's this little nugget. Actually, I think he is drilling for a nugget. Yeah. Enigma's a lot of fun. So a lot of the film, like the stories, come around from just your own personal stories, right? From just working at a tattoo shop.
You want to take this one first, or you want me to jump in? Because that's very true.
Go ahead.
Not everything. So I don't want anybody to think that we just do some of the horrible things that happen in the movie, and I don't want people to think that horrible things actually happen in a tattoo shop.
Right.
So think of it as like a really exaggerated, goofiest, most absurd version of just the basic story that you heard in the shop or something, or something that happened in the shop. Little silly things like that. But yeah, the environment and the characters and the tropes, that's all inspired by tattooing and by our experiences in the shop. There's a guy who always hangs around, who's there just all the time getting tattooed. We've all been that. That's how I got my apprenticeship, So there's that guy. And then there's the artist who's not tattooed for some reason. And anything weird, anything silly, anything, realistic that we could think of, we just kind of put in there.
Kind of like this guy, huh? I think he's that in the trailer.
That is our non-tattooed tattooer, who is the new guy, the new hire, who Jared, or Mason is his character name, didn't want to work with. And that's him with his kids going, can you watch them for a couple minutes or whatever? So more than anything, I think the tropes are there to be funny, but I think the way the jokes come around, I think, is what really makes it funny. Like there's fart jokes, for example, but they're not. It's not just like somebody farts and then there's a laugh,
Yeah.
They really kind of come full circle. And if you mind, Bobby and I'll give an example real quick here. So my motto is, if you're gonna use a fart, make it smart, and that's why the joke has to come around. So there's a part. I'll paraphrase it, and I'll shorten it just for the sake of not fucking up the story. So the landlord comes in, Bobby and Mason are sitting there, and he starts lecturing him, and he goes, and I hate your stinky farts, and I hate all the weed smoke. And then, sorry, I think my dog. So then Mason goes, hey man, that shit's legal, and Bobby has arthritis. And then Bobby says,
an irritable bowel too.
And then he farts. So it's like this never-ending perpetual motion device of jokes, really, honestly.
Nice.
So if people like them, cool. If they don't like them, I still think they'll find it pretty enjoyable. There's a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah, I would say that highbrow, lowbrow, fart jokes always make the day.
They really do.
Yeah.
And it's not the whole movie. It's just part of it, and it's just one of those things you just have to sneak in there here and there, That's all. But.
Well, when we play the trailer a little bit, I think the trailer suggests a lot of emoting, a lot of heart.
Yeah.
So I think that to me it suggests that it's going to be very universal and everybody can really dive in, even if the layperson hasn't been around the tattoo shop.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad you get that from the trailer, because it's really supposed to be universal.
Yeah.
And really, it takes place in a tattoo shop, but it's not really about tattooing. It's just kind of about these people and how they interact, and their relationships with each other and what they go through. Everybody's got their own shit too, So. Yeah,
the first my first inclination, was that this film might have a little bit of influence from Kevin Smith's Clerks or Clerks 2.
Yep.
I don't know if that was a direct influence, but that's what I read into it.
Yeah, it's definitely that kind of movie. You know, it's the simplification of it with the way we shot it and the way the jokes kind of time up probably is a little bit like that too. But yeah, the whole approach to it is definitely like his. And there's a lot of like classical, it's really subtle shit, but you know, there's little Kubrick influences and really subtle visual storytellings and things like that that I hope people can vibe on too, you know.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
That's cool. It sounds like you guys, set out to really, compose a 5-course meal.
Yeah, I think it's got a really great arc. I think, you know, the way the story starts and ends is fantastic. I think it's wrapped up really well. Really happy about our ending. I'm really happy with the genre blending and the mix of
Cool.
You know, dramatic and comedy and emotion and silliness, you know, and I think that's really popular right now with, you know, Netflix and, you know, all the cable shows, everything really kind of, you know, blends the, you know, the idea of comedy and drama together. And I've always liked that. I like sad movies that can make me laugh and,
yeah,
you know, funny movies that fucking break my heart somewhere in the middle of it. It's just good storytelling and it's good filmmaking. I hope people dig it.
Yeah. Bobby, do you have more to that?
Well, it's a story that, in my opinion, can stand on its own. It's a story about the human condition and about this condition called life that requires a little bit of anesthesia. And I think it's solid. I think people will enjoy it whether they're into the tattoo scene or not.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. Bobby, you have a pretty extensive background in acting. I mean, you have an eclectic background. You're one of those people that have done pretty much everything. Can you tell us a little bit more of all the cool things you've done? Because I mean, you're a radio DJ, wrestler, you name it.
The story goes like this. I started out as a tattooer. Then I became a radio DJ. Then I became a professional wrestler. Then I became a writer. Then I became an actor. And I don't know what I'm going to do next.
You forgot stuntman, Bobby.
Stuntman in there too. I've taken some stunts. I've done that stuff with my wrestling background. You know, I got to do some stunts in Punisher in different movies. And
man, that's awesome.
Yeah. Bobby took a fall for Kevin Nash in The Punisher.
Yeah.
The part where he literally flies through a fucking brick wall and then down the stairs, and it's Bobby.
Oh my gosh, that was you?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, geez. You know, that, I'd imagine you probably had to take a lot of tumbles in this movie too, right?
I didn't take any too hard tumbles in this one, man. It was a pretty not so physical shoot for me, which is nice because I'm getting a little long in the tooth to be falling down. Yeah.
Well, I remember because I think we first had you on. Well, we first had you on to talk about going into pre-production or production on this film, and we had Enigma on too. And then, I interviewed Stephen Morgan, who you worked with on Rook, and that's a fantastic film too. That's got a little bit of action to it.
Oh, I had a lot of action. That one wore me out.
Did it? That is a sharp film. So and that one also had a lot of humor to it. Do you find that you prefer kind of gearing things towards more dramatic or more humorous?
Bobby's hilarious. Bobby's hilarious.
I like doing humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
comedy
humor for sure.
I don't want to run anyone out in the movie, but Bobby's probably the funniest person.
Nice. That's cool. It seems like you guys got a pretty stellar cast too.
Amazing.
We got a lot of really good actors on this film. A lot of really good actors.
That's cool. Looks like Matt just chimed in. That is a wide variety of accomplishments, Bobby.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, you with all the talent that you're working with, like I remember this guy from Rook.
Yeah.
We just kind of borrowed their whole cast, pretty much.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, well, this one came right on the heels of that one, so we just kind of got everybody together and said, "Let's do it again." You know.
Nice. That's cool. And some of the scenes around the shop outside. Let's see here. More. You can't go wrong with cute babies.
Oh yeah.
Being tattooed with marker and stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some new promotional material at some point, and I'd really like to use one of those full body shots as an illustration for a poster, just to make people go, "What the fuck?"
Oh, that would be hilarious. Yeah, I think this is your main movie poster right here. Just your son, because that's your son, right?
Yeah. That's one of the twins.
Nice, man. Yeah. So some of the patrons coming to hang out with the tattoo artist without any tattoos.
So this right here, I'll just give a little context without having to spoil it too much, or maybe I'll just spoil it a little. But he's looking through, he's showing them their portfolio, but it's not his drawings, it's not his work in the portfolio.
Oh,
somebody has pulled a prank on him.
That's I mean, that there's a kind of a cardinal sin of any artist.
I don't know, Bobby. Should I tell him what it was?
Yeah, tell him what it was.
There's dicks. He put dick drawings all up in his portfolio. So they come in and he's like, "Hi, yada yada," and then they're like looking and they start laughing. He's like, "What the hell's so funny?" And he just opens it up and all his tattoo photos have just replaced with dick drawings. So that was loosely inspired by stuff that I've seen in the shop.
Nice. Yeah, a bunch of pranks and stuff done by people or Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. That's hilarious. So can you tell us a little bit, what it's like to work with our friend the Enigma? I've done his comic books for years. We've been friends for about probably about 10 years now, and he's always a hoot. It's always fun hanging out with him, and we'll go to movies when he's in town and stuff. Well, we used to. Obviously, we can't now, but.
Right. I thought he was fucking great. He was amazing. He was ready to perform. Like, I didn't want to tell him to do Enigma stuff necessarily, because I was like, the whole agreement is you're coming in to do whatever you want to do. You guys are improvising the scene. This is the setup. The only setup was that he walks in, he's got an appointment, but his artist isn't there. So he stays there talking to the other artists.
Yeah.
But yeah, he started doing his sideshow tricks and just talking about goofy business ideas and just a number of really, really funny things. And every bit of it worked. Every bit of it worked, and every bit of it's going in the movie. And it was amazing to see him in person. I remembered him from opening up for 9 Inch Nails and just what he was doing in the 90s. And I remember him on X-Files. But we were really excited to have him in our movie for sure.
Yeah, that was season 2 of the X-Files. I think that was episode 23, Humbug. Yeah, I kept hoping that when they were doing like the X-Files miniseries and stuff, that they would hire him again and then put him in a suit and make him a field agent or something.
I feel like he's underused after using him in this movie and thinking about the 5 or 10 other movie ideas that I have and what I would use him for.
Yeah.
And I would do the same thing. I would just give him basic parameters and be like, do whatever the hell you want to do. And I think with somebody that unique, that's what you need to do with them. Like, you can't bring him in and be like, here's your script and I want you to do this or that or whatever. Like, I think go in and just let him be him, and he's going to give you a real great performance. So.
You've directed a couple shorts, and this is your first feature film, that you've been able to see come to fruition. What's it like directing all these different characters? Like, Bobby's quite the character, and
So I kind of cheat, and when I write the stories, I just write stuff about my friends and just change the names.
Okay.
With their permission, of course. Like
Mhm.
Bobby's character, Bobby is Bobby, just a little exaggerated. You know, the weed smoking thing. Okay,
Yeah.
turn it up a little. You know,
Yeah.
thing, turn it up a little. You know, this and that. And that's just all it is. It's just different versions of ourselves is really what it's all about. And then, every little
Nice.
character has a little bit of me in them, and it's so directing the characters is mostly pretty easy, and
Mhm.
because they're just doing their thing, and I just louder, slower, whatever, and that's really the extent of what we do. And at
Okay.
this point, we've done 6 or 7 little different things together. They're all used to working together. Bobby, Jared, the guy our friend who plays Mason, Bobby really has known him for 20 years. Like they really did work together forever. So it was already it was just already there, So not only for the funny scenes, but the dramatic and the more emotional scenes, like were just so fucking believable. We were blown away. So we're really excited about it.
Nice. Now, yeah, off camera, you were telling me that working like a month, couple months on the script, and then as soon as Colorado opened up a little bit, you guys went in, filmed that thing, got it done.
6 days.
Yeah, what 6 days for filming?
We spent 6 days on filming. One more if you count.
Wow.
One more if you count the day that Bobby and our AD/other producer Seth and we went around just in B-roll filming the city and shit. But yeah, 6-7 days is all we did.
That's amazing. So, Bobby, when you mentioned that you guys shot like 20 pages a day, I mean, that's no exaggeration.
It's got to be a record. It's got to be a record. I've seen guys walk off the set because they shot more than 7 pages in a day. They were like, "I'm not shooting 8 pages. Talk to my agent. I'll be in my trailer."
Oh, geez.
And we did 20, and we did that more than once.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So you mean more than once, like doing a couple of takes?
No, like
no, that was more than one day.
Right,
we had
right.
3 different days that we shot 20 pages on.
We didn't have.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is we did it without really absurd hours. Like we never were there more than 12 hours, and even we did it all within regular work, like what we consider to be a regular work day. So it was all good.
Do you think that's a testament to how tight knit your crew and cast are?
Definitely, we almost everybody who was involved in it, we were already friends with anyway, and out of 70 people involved, we were cool with 68 of them, so it turned out pretty sweet. It ended up really good. Yeah.
Cool. That's cool. Obviously, with somebody like the Enigma, I mean, you just kind of let him go, and he just kind of improvs and does what the Enigma does.
I actually felt bad. Sorry to interrupt you. I actually felt bad because we finished within 3 hours or something, 4 hours. I had 30, 40 minutes of footage, and we were like, okay, we're all done. He's like, we're done. And I was like, oh, no. I felt bad because I thought it seemed like he still wanted to be there, or he expected to be there longer. I hope he had fun and he enjoyed it, because that was the one thing, is he was still just ready to work like all night.
Yeah, that's totally Enigma. He's in that sense, he's incredibly disciplined. He will stay there and work and work and work as long as you need him. I've had film shoots with him too, and he'll be there all day until we call a wrap for him. And sometimes that's 10, 15 hours. Sometimes it's 20 hours. But that's amazing that you guys were able to get so much out of them. But to that extent too, like, I mean, you got your script. How do you adapt your script? Is there enough, freedom to just let the actors kind of, embellish and improv on time with that type of the pace that you guys are keeping? It almost suggests like it wouldn't, but it sounds like you guys are having a blast working like that.
That's a really good question. There's actually a pretty pretty complex answer for that one. So we do a little bit of both. We do a little bit of both. I tell them, do it word for word for me first, the way I told you to first, and then you can do it however else you want.
Okay.
And most everybody was pretty good about just reading the words, not reading the words, but doing the words that were already there.
Right.
The problem was when they would ad lib, they'd put cuss words where we wouldn't need one. I'd be like, take out the fuck, take out the shit. Like, oh yeah, right. But that'd be the extent of them, changing it was just, ad libbing cuss words where we didn't need one. It's like, the ones that we have are already in there. There is such thing as too much kind of thing. But,
nice.
And there was a couple times where we were going to have, dialogue and we would just cut it and do something without it. And then there was a couple scenes that we changed. There's a really, really powerful scene where Bobby's kind of having a serious talk with Mason back behind the shop after he hasn't shown up for his appointments. And it's just very visual, and you can just tell, that he knows how bad Bobby's disappointed in him, and he hurts really bad for it, and that was completely improvised.
Yeah.
So after that scene was originally a comedic scene that we had to reshoot, it was basically he shows up after Enigma, leaves, and they make a bunch of jokes, but instead we just changed it and took it to a real serious edge, and it's a real good tonal shift, kind of in the middle of the movie, and sets up a little more of the challenge and stuff. But
nice.
Yeah, we just kind of a lot of making up as we go along with just a little bit, mostly just sticking right to that script, honestly, and just going quick.
That's cool. I think we've got enough build up. I think we should show the trailer. Share it with the rest of the world. Let's switch over here and let's get this puppy going. All right, and for the world that hasn't seen this, here's the trailer to The Shop.
Bobby.
You're raising the rent again? What the hell?
And I hate your music, I hate your smelly ass farts, and your sketchy fucking customers. And worst of all, I hate the weed smoke.
We're gonna need to make more money, or we're gonna have to trouble keeping this place open. We gotta hire another tattooer.
Good to meet you.
He doesn't even have any fucking tattoos.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make his life a living hell.
I get it. Look, everybody's got to earn their spot. Everyone's got to prove themselves. I know it was you that was pranking me all day.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Hi, I was wondering, do you guys need a piercer?
Dude, I don't want a girl in the shop. It's always a distraction.
That's fucking sexist.
Got ran over by the delivery truck and lived.
And now you're here all the time.
You know it! You know it.
You need to do something about all that toxic masculinity.
You need to get thicker skin.
All right, now what did we learn?
You wanted to sell this place for a long time, and your lease is fucking terminated.
Hey.
Oh, it's the Enigma.
Oh, I know who you are.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, wait. It's nothing to sneeze at. It's just a drill. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Oh, that's hilarious.
I've watched it like so many times. Actually, I mean, you got back in December, you got that rough draft. I've watched it so many times, but I don't know. I still feel really good about it. It's still
Good.
We like how it came out. We definitely need to do a shorter one for pitching and for distribution, but I think it sets up the movie really well. I think it kind of tells you what's going on. So.
Yeah, most definitely. It definitely, gives you that heart and sets up the human condition. I also, oh, what?
And the fart.
Oh, and the farts.
And the fart in the human condition.
Yeah, I could smell that those were some smart farts.
They were smart farts.
Yeah, very smart.
No, I'm really looking forward to seeing the film. It's I brought up the idea of like parks and you mentioned some set pieces that kind of echoed Kubrick, but what are both of your film influences? Italo?
Film influences, like just in general.
In general, like what are your go-tos? What did you grow up loving?
It tends to kind of change every few years. Like I'd say every like 10 years almost. There's like something else I start to like more than anything. But I grew up on James Cameron, Aliens, Terminator,
nice
stuff like that. Action movies, really bad 80s action movies, and really good ones, Lethal Weapon, stuff like that. And then as a teenager, I was became obsessed with David Fincher because I had already liked Alien 3, even though people hated it. But I started watching all his movies, and he was my favorite for a while. And then now I don't know. Now I think I just go back to the classics, but not like really really old classics, where it's like it's just kind of when there was a certain time period where all the movies moved at a really, really just like slow, weird pace, and they had like 15 minutes of credits at the beginning of the movie and stuff. Not that far classic, but like
right,
Kubrick, stuff like that. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on like what directors I like right now, but my collection's pretty extensive. There's a lot of stuff in there. Oliver Stone.
Yeah, that's cool. I grew up on all those too. I was a fan of Alien 3 when it came out, so I really appreciate that. Bobby, how about you?
Well, there's some directors that I'm impressed with, but mostly I lean more toward actors,
Okay.
And I lean toward the weirdos like Steve Buscemi and Willem Dafoe and Sam Jackson and these guys, I mean, the ones that the volume is turned up so loud on their crazy, that you can't handle it. I mean, that's the guys that I get thrilled by, and that's the ones that I try to channel when I'm doing my thing.
Oh, cool. Yeah, these days I tend to revisit like Nicolas Cage films because
I love Nicolas Cage, man. He is the king of the freak out.
Yeah, very much so.
He's got that down pat.
And everything he's been doing lately is fantastic. Like he's done everything from sci-fi, weird murder movies, like all kinds of shit. He's been great in all of them. Everyone.
Yeah. All you got to do to get Nicolas Cage is ask.
Right.
It seems like it, right? Yeah. Yeah, I just caught him on the Netflix series, The History of Swear Words.
That was pretty great. I watched that.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that he would make a great host, and I loved it. It was so insightful, and he struck the perfect absurdist tone with everything. So, and then his recent films. Oh, Angela's watching. She'll appreciate this. Yes, I was just going to say Mandy, which Angela just posted about. So she loved Rage, Rage Cage or Cage Rage, and Adrian also just chimed in. She loved the trailer.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and she's also a huge Nicolas Cage and Mandy fan. Yeah.
Let's see, Color Out of Space.
What's that?
Color Out of Space. I think
Oh, Color from Out. Yeah, that was great too. And then he's got another one coming out that I'm really psyched for. I think it's Wally's Wonderland or something like that.
Yeah, it basically looks like they made Five Nights at Freddy's but had to call it something different, and it looks really fucking good though.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I'm like, man, a solid horror trilogy from the Cage Man. Love it.
See, my mom won't watch anything with Nicolas Cage in it because she thinks he
Really?
steals all my roles.
Well, that just means she loves you.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not watching him. He steals all your roles.
I think, well, Bobby, you and I did a reading with Enigma some time ago on a horror feature that I wrote, with him. And you were the perfect, kind of psycho, strong guy, like the henchman. But man, you were intense during that reading.
I love that kind of stuff. So I love anything that's got meat on the bones like that, and although the shop is a comedy and there's a lot of lightheartedness to it, there's some real meat on the bones. I mean, we've got drama. We got drama, baby.
Yeah.
We're not just funny,
Yeah.
We'll make you cry too. Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, I definitely get that from the trailer. It's that I think that just speaks to your range too, that you're able to go from action to horror to drama to comedy, and a lot of times all that in the same film. That to your point too earlier, you were mentioning about the human condition. That's the human condition. It swings. It's a massive pendulum that goes from really hard crashing dramatic times where you're dealing with anything from famine to COVID to political unrest, and then finding the humor in it.
Real deal. I mean, I believe that the human condition requires some anesthesia.
Yeah.
And that anesthesia doesn't necessarily always have to be a drug or a drink. It can be humor. Right. It can be drama. It can be any type of escape that gets you out of your head for 20 minutes,
Yeah. Yeah. Could be a hug too. I mean, just that human connection might be all you need.
Especially these days in this hugless society we live in,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Most definitely, definitely, hug the ones that you can safely anyway right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm super psyched to see the whole film. Any idea when it's going to be completed and be released? I know you guys are looking for distribution.
So I've thought about that, and it's definitely going to be this year. And what I'm expecting is either summer or fall. But if we're offered distribution, but then it's on a different schedule, it could be later. Like if they're like, okay, we want to buy your film, but it's next quarter and whenever, could be later. But it'll be done and ready to shop around, and be submitted to festivals and be ready to pitch to probably by the summer is what we're looking at. Maybe by Halloween. Halloween might be a little more realistic. We're definitely not going to rush it because we're already making really, really good time. And we're already really far along into it. So I got my friends doing music. MF Ruckus does the music, and my buddy Mike Stacy is composing original score.
Cool.
So there's a lot of cool stuff in there. I'm still trying to get other people to contribute their songs to. Any bands that want to send us something over that they mind letting us use, you can do it.
Do you hear that, bands out there that are watching? Make sure you send this guy your music.
Nothing concrete yet. We won't just necessarily take the songs. If it's used in the actual movie and we get distribution, you will get some kind of royalties. I don't know what it is, but just in case anyone's thinking, oh, just give them free music or whatever. Everybody who actually has something in there, once we get distribution, because we're pretty sure we're feeling really good about it, and we don't see any reason why the film won't get distribution. I don't want to declare that, but I think that you got to manifest that stuff. You got to believe that kind of shit's gonna happen. So
Right.
yeah.
What's that?
I said, plus we got the Enigma, you know, so it's there's a lot there. There's a lot there to get people to want to watch it, tattoo related people or not. So
you have your own walking, talking action figure in the film. I mean, you could literally do the whole toy line around him, and then around Bobby.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned toys.
Oh,
The next movie, we're writing another script right now that's related to the grown man toy collector underworld, that kind of subculture that's going on right now. And it's same thing, like it should be a really ridiculously goofy comedy, but it's got like, you know, way more going on with it and a lot of heart and emotion and shit like that. So since you mentioned that, yeah.
man, that sounds fun.
We're pretty early in, but I'm having a lot of fun writing it right now. So
That's cool. So you're juggling, you know, doing the post-production, because you're doing all the editing on the shop, and then you're writing this new script. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm doing nothing. I'm just sitting around doing nothing.
You're just doing well. You're at the day job, aren't you? You know, you're managing tattoo shops.
Yeah, I'm managing a load of tattoo shops and a load of tattooers, and that's like herding cats.
Yeah. That's the magic of kind of. Well, you're in that sense. You're a producer.
I'm still producing. Yeah, I knew it. I knew I'd never get out of it. I knew it.
You know, what's funny is he told me when we finished this movie, he's like, I'm not producing anything. I'm not producing anymore. As soon as I started writing the script, I was thinking about what shit Bobby was going to do for me to help produce it. So I was like, okay.
And I've already started casting the movie, and we don't even have a script yet.
It's true.
Alan Cutler.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
With us.
Oh,
yeah.
Alan's awesome. I love him.
Yeah, I hit on him the first night I saw him because he looks like Omid's dad. I was like, oh my God, you got to be in this movie, man.
Nice.
Actually, now that you think about it, we pretty much have like 8 characters already confirmed and casted for the next movie already.
Man, you guys are ready to rock and roll. So, boy, I can't wait to see the next film.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ways away. I don't want to definitely misrepresent it, but yeah, we're writing a new script right now and making props and shit because we need about 10,000 action figures. So,
let me know if there's something you need. I might be able to make something.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
My background is in sculpting as well as illustration and comic book.
Yeah, we definitely got to wrap that. I know about your comic books and all your large scale stuff. I didn't know you sculpted too, though. I'd love to see some of that. Awesome.
Yeah, academically, that's my background. Yeah, I got a bachelor's in sculpting from Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design, and
badass, dude.
That led me down this road of doing everything under the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adrian says Dan can do anything.
Oh, I believe it.
Shh, Adrian. You haven't seen my income tax returns yet. I can't do that. But yeah, that's so good. That's so cool. I'm glad that you guys, even during the time of pandemic, a group of friends, were able to come together, make a creative project in a limited window, and bring it to complete fruition. Make it manifest. That's an epic deal.
I think that is probably what got us through what's left over in the middle of or whatever's going on with the pandemic. I think honestly the movie is what made it okay for all of us. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that was the goal. That's what kept you focused and going. So that's great.
something else that kept us focused and going too.
Weed?
And that was that we had double catering.
Oh.
We had catering for food and we had catering for weed.
We literally had a marijuana dispensary sponsoring our film. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that's awesome. That's another example of, you know, how the marijuana industry is supporting the community and the arts.
Absolutely. Thank you, Terrapin Station, if you're watching.
Terrapin Station, yeah. They
That's
really,
fantastic.
they really hooked us up. We had a lot of fun. A lot
That's
of fun because of that. Yeah.
That's great. So I'm glad that you guys, you know, have that sponsor. It looks like Adrian just chimed in. I wish I could find the video of you, Italo, sorry, from DSA Halloween as Brandon Lee, Eric Draven. One of my favorites. Embarrassing stories.
I haven't seen that picture in a long time. There was at least a few from my damn crow costume. I think every teenage boy in 1995 through 97 was probably into the crow, especially if you are what would be considered a goth or whatever. But
I think that continues on to today, you know? Or at least a year ago, a year and a half ago, when you could still go to comic book conventions or horror conventions, and somebody's got to be the Eric Draven.
Just imagine me with hair, but I couldn't grow long hair because my hair was fucking poofy. So it was just this kind of like parted down the middle, like down to here mat. It just didn't really work at all. But it was the electrical tape that really made the costume cool.
Nice.
Everybody did it. My friend Mike did it. Matt did it. Becky did it. All of our fucking friends did it.
I did it at one point too.
Right. I'm sure that photo's out there somewhere.
That's awesome. Well, it's good to see too that we've got so many cross pollinating friends too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I worked with Adrian on my OFM crew where we would do the stage choreographed combat and get dressed up in the big monster outfits, hooked up with blood, and she'd be the aerialist that would drop out of the sky. It's like a big B-movie Circus Olay.
Yeah, she's amazing in the stuff she can do for sure.
Oh yeah, she's tremendous, and she still does all that stuff too.
And then her and then all those other young women at Denver School of the Arts were just incredible. I remember like the strength that they can just even from when we were kids, and they all do it for their careers now. They all have businesses doing it. And
yeah,
you're using it one way or another, and I think it's so rad because I remember filming for like the video yearbook and stuff, and they're hanging from the ceiling and just jumping 9 feet in the air, and I'm just like, holy shit, how? Like, it's just really cool.
I think you're gonna have to write another script around that, something heartfelt.
That could be cool.
that would be. Yeah, I mean, you got your stunt people on that, definitely. But Angela just chimed in. This has been awesome. So, and Adrian's just responding to everything you're saying. So, it's so cool to see you guys and know that you're out there, you know, making the world awesome with all the cool projects you guys are doing.
Thanks, man. We're glad people seem to be interested. There's a lot of stuff out there right now. I'm glad people are responding well to it.
Oh yeah, I think right now more than anything, like, you know, people want to connect over the love of film and, you know, anything of that nature. So I think it's the perfect time to roll out your project, to execute it and roll it out. So I can't wait to see it. You know, can't wait to be able to support you a little bit more and, you know, and direct people, you know, either to the theaters to go see your film or online, you know, however, or maybe day and date where it's both.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, guys, thanks so much for coming on the show, and go ahead and hang out for just a minute. And to everybody that tuned in, you know, thanks so much for watching. And to my sponsor, Mutiny Cafe, thanks so much for the coffee.
Jim,
come on, get it, and then there we go. And yeah, good old Jim and Matt over at Mutiny, they are amazing guys. And guys, everybody out there, make sure to go to their website, to theshopfilm.com, and for updates. Feel free, if you're a band, feel free to hit up about using music. And guys, thanks again. And to everybody out there, be good, be kind, help each other out, look out for each other. We love you.
Thanks everybody for watching.